Frogman Friday.
Yeah, boy.
What's up, my people? It's that time again. Welcome to the Frogman Friday Show.
Presented by Transcend, the best peptide and hormone therapy. They put your health first so you can live more and worry less. Go to transcendcompany.com/Birdman to begin your wellness transformation today.
Today, our badass guest is Denny Caballero, aka Cab. Green Beret, 16 years of service, Warrant Officer 2, retired. He founded Security Halt Media in 2023, and you can catch him on all the socials. To take a deeper dive, go check out securityhalt.com. Brother, welcome to the show.
Dude, thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah, dude, this is great, man. I love connecting with different branches of the soft community because we're so isolated and insulated within our own community. So to understand that we all are really on the similar paths, and then a lot of guys get out and they're into this space where they want to be the entrepreneur because they're like, I've been told what to do my whole career. You become a leader and you're like, well, I guess I can do this outside. And I have seen more guys out of the soft community get out and become entrepreneurs than just go work for corporate. Yeah. And it's a really cool thing. So let's jump in with the first thing I always ask everybody is, you did 16 years service, retired. That's a long time to be serving. What was your transition like?
Dude, my transition was brutal, dude. It was absolutely brutal because it started with an absolute complete mental breakdown. And I mean, when we fall apart in our community, both whether it's, MARSOC, Raiders, SEALs, Rangers, Green Berets, like in our Air Force, CCTs and combat dudes, like when we fall apart big, dude. And that's what happened to me. Had to go in to a treatment center because I couldn't do the Green Beret stuff anymore. And I mean, before we started talking about some of the things I was facing. I got back from that trip and my mind just didn't work right. My left eye wouldn't focus anymore. And like any other operator, like we're just going to hide shit. Like we're not going to talk about it. I'm just going to hide it. And, but everything was like half-assed. Like when it came to treatment, I wasn't willing to be extremely vulnerable or ask for like exact what I needed for help. So I wasn't getting fixed right away. I was willing to ask for like the physical stuff, but everything was a half measure. And then ultimately got to the point where like, if I can't do this job, if I can't function like a real Green Beret should, my mindset, I'm just going to end it. And I had a plan to do it all. And it was just like one moment of vulnerability with my therapist who I'd been seeing for over a year, just completely just like doing the seer thing, barely giving up any sort of truth to like get a little bit of resources. Yeah. I'll take some meds. 'Cause in our minds, we take those meds are going to make us better. And nothing really helped. And it was that brief moment of vulnerability with this person that I trusted. And she immediately said, like, hey, we can get you to a treatment center right now. Like, we don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. Think about your wife. Think about the future. And in that moment, I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go. I don't care if you take away my shoes. I don't care if you take away my shoelaces. Like, fucking let's do it. And that saved my life. That's when I first started waking up in that treatment center, finally going through everything in my life and unraveling that puzzle box that all of us carry up here and never tell anybody. Yeah. And that's when I finally realized, like, shit, like, I'm done. I cannot, if we can't fix everything, if this is going to be a process where I have to remove myself from this environment, I'd rather find a way back to being me than continuing to fucking kick this can down the road. And that's when I knew, like, hey, my time as a Green Beret is over. I need to figure out who Denny is. And I need to get myself fixed. And from that treatment center, was able to go to a traumatic brain injury treatment center to finally get help and figure out all these fucking things. Like when your eye isn't fucking working, when you can't read your emails, when you have problems talking, like there's something going wrong up here, man. Nobody was fucking talking about these things like repeated head impacts, blast exposure. All these things were still sort of kept hush hush. And it was operator syndrome had just gotten published and my doctors had it and they were talking about it and they were spun up at it. And they're like, hey, you're in this line of work, and before that you were doing this, and before that you were in contact sports, and before all that you were raised in a chaotic environment with abuse. Like, your brain's gone through a lot. You need help. We are here to help you out. That's when everything started clicking for me, and they were able to start addressing the rest of the issues. And coming back from that, like, that's like, walk in, sit down with my chain of command and realize, like, hey, like, I'm done. Like, I'm walking away from this career. I need further help. I need follow-on care. And you guys can't wait for me to be better. You guys don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know how long it's going to be. Like, I'm not going to be an asset to this fucking team while I'm getting treatment, while I'm having to go to appointments friggin' every day. And that was like the ultimate understanding of, like, all right, transition starts now. What do we do? And like, every last one of us, man, every last one of us will go through this, and we have to start figuring it out. And for me, it started with figuring out the mental games, figuring out what I needed to be healthy, and then thinking about employment or what am I doing. So it was really putting my health first. That was the first big thing that I had to focus on. And then when I get that figured out, then it was like, okay, what am I going to do? I was fortunate enough, like a lot of us, we get the opportunity to go to the programs, the transition programs. The one that I went to was the Honor Foundation. They're the first ones that sat down and be like, hey, look, it's okay that Bill's going to do defense tech. It's okay that Jeremy's going to be doing an MBA. What do you want to do? I was like, fuck, I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I already started doing this podcasting thing as a hobby. And I had a lot of passion behind speaking up and sharing my story, because the more I share, the more I talked about it with a guy in the hallway or somebody came into my office. Because after I stepped down from the team, I still had a job. I went down to S3, and I was down there in the dungeon where nobody wants to be, like, just in there, sitting there with other individuals that were either injured or at a point in their career where they weren't going anywhere, operational anytime soon. And guys started reaching out, started talking after I got back from my treatment centers. They started asking questions. And I realized me sharing and being, putting on the facade of being strong and an advocate, because in the inside, I was like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
I'm a broke dude. Nobody wants me around. What value do I have to this organization? Because nobody's walking in and saying, hey, you're still a fucking Green Beret. You're still somebody we want alive. You're a part of this organization. I'm having to tell myself that in my car every single day and practice meditation to be like, all right, put on this warrior armor, go in there, be the best version of yourself to help somebody else. Show them that it's okay to go get help. And what I started seeing was a lot of individuals that were willing to bounce back, were willing to talk, and they were going to seek treatment. They were going to see P3, our counselors in seventh group at the time. So I saw that as a positive. I'm like, okay, if I can just reach somebody on a one-on-one session in my office, what kind of an impact can I have if I'm able to start talking about this on a freaking podcast? If I'm willing to be vulnerable enough to share these stories. Because one thing that we have, all of us within this community, is we have that fancy beret or that trident or that tan beret or that scarlet beret that says we are elite.
Yeah.
We've done hard things and people look up to us. Whether we like it or not, people do look up to us. And it's important that if you have that, if you've earned something like that, that you're willing to advocate for the one thing that nobody likes to talk about. That's fucking when you break down, when you don't have it all going right, and be willing to say, like, hey, this is completely normal. You spent a vast amount of your career being at the very top, dealing with that stress, dealing with the training impact, dealing with all the demands that you have to meet physically and mentally. That will wear on a human being. We're not a performance machine made out of metal, made out of organic parts. They will wear on you. And by and large, we lie when things break. And I carry that for a very long time, dude. And being able to share that with others, being able to give others like a pipeline to getting help so that they don't have to get out, so they don't have to retire early, that was extremely rewarding. Like, I still have friends I was able to sit down with and literally like just sit there and hold space with them while they shared what they were going through and say, hey, you're at the very beginning of this. You don't have to have the full on mental breakdown. You can get help today. And then you can still take on that team. You can still deploy and do all those great things. And they're still in the fight. And I realized, like, okay, there's an importance to this. How can I make that a career? How can I make that a business thing. And I started talking to other individuals, had a great mentor in that program that said, you know what, bet on yourself, figure out how you can turn this into a business. And, you know, I say it all the time. I'm a dog shit entrepreneur. I figure shit out because I don't have that fancy MBA program. And I started figuring out what I could do in order to make this a real cash business. Like, because the reality is, a Security Halt podcast, a podcast about mental health resources, advocating for you to be the best version of yourself, being positive, being a good husband, being a good father. Positivity doesn't sell as much as negativity. So I had to figure out a way to grow the audience, but still put food on the table. And I found that I could do the production side. I could do it pretty damn good. And all it takes is one person to see value. And one person did. His name is Dan Rayburn, an amazing individual. To this day, I still produce his show. And he approached me and said, you know, I listened to your show. And he listened to one of the worst, raunchiest episodes I had, because at that point, it was just team guy talking team guy stuff. I hadn't healed completely. I just was in the raw, sharing my you know, what I was going through. And he listened to that, the humor, the veteran aspect of it. And he's like, hey, I'd like for you to come on board and produce my show. And we launched it. And I learned how to launch a podcast, how to market it, how to do the editing, and all those things. And number one thing that I learned from him is content is king. It's the number one thing I learned from Dan. I realized, okay, if I can improve my content and improve my messaging and improve the way I go about talking about this from a point of strength, not a point of weakness, I can grow my following. I can grow my audience and continue to do what I love. And that was the very beginning of Security Halt Media. And just one moment of vulnerability and willing to bet on myself is what launched it, man.
You mentioned a key, like a critical thing about you, that there was suicide involved. Did you see a clear path to suicide?
I did. Like, one of the shocking statistics is, like, we don't, you know, our soft community doesn't tip the scale as the most reported, but when we commit to it, we're 100%. And I was getting there. My wife was also in the military. She was about to deploy. And I had I don't want her to I don't want her to be the one that finds me. So my plan was wait for her to deploy. I was going to do it in a place in our home in Florida where it would be easy to clean up, and somebody else would find me and take care of the mess. And I had it completely planned out. It was just waiting for her to, you know, be off on her deployment. And that's the scary part. Like, when we form a plan, like, we have it like down to the T. Like, we know when we're going to do it, time, we have everything laid out. And I would formulated that, and I was going to make this happen. And the only thing that kept me from doing it was being honest with my P3 provider at that time. Just having that moment of brutal honesty and vulnerability, and realizing that, you know, this woman, shout out to Michelle, wherever she's at these days, was able to just walk me through that entire process and realize, like, man, you have this great idea of how you're going to avoid your wife from having to find you, but what about for, like, the rest of her life? And it's like, fuck, dude, like, you're right. Like, even if somebody came in, even if anybody else would have been able to come in and clean it up and take care of it, I'm leaving my wife behind. Like, that's a one person that's been rallying around me this entire fucking time, because nobody in the team saw through the mask, but this poor woman seeing it day in and day out, and she's walking through eggshells. Like, fuck, no, maybe not. Let's fucking fight. Let's find some sort of, like, that little bit of fight that's left in me. Let's figure this shit out.
Wow, man. You look at yourself in the mirror today versus then when you were at your darkest hour. Could you recognize that person back then now?
Yeah, because I honestly, I see them and I engage with them on a daily basis, man.
Okay.
Like, it's even that your closest friends that hide it, when you make it through the other side, you can see it. You can see it in other people. And it's an important thing for us to hold on to, because not everybody can see it. Like, dude, guys in the team rooms right now, in the platoons, in your companies, like, you've got a lot of dudes are wearing that mask. And if you have made it through to the other side, you can identify it. You know the fucking dude.
Yeah.
You know him. And it's not always the doom and gloomy guy. A lot of times it's the happiest fucking dude you have on the team. That's a reality. Like, a lot of times it's the guy that's advocating for you to get help.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was. I was actively sitting and volunteering to be a peer-to-peer support facilitator for my company. Like that was one of the, when I look back at that journey, I was like, fuck, I'm sitting there with Pick, my, who at the time was the company ops guy, NCO. And I'm sitting there like, man, I'm the end user for this program. I need to be talking to somebody, but I wasn't willing to. Like all of this could have been stemmed if I would have been honest a whole hell of a lot earlier. And just, for a lot of us, we're not willing to.
It's legit though, man, for you to overcome this to where you're on this show right here and now and you're smiling and you've just got so much life and love to give people now. I always ask that question because every one of us go through dark times, and some of us are so committed to taking it 100 miles an hour towards that direction. For me, I didn't really give it much thought because I was too scared. I was too chicken shit to ever consider that as an option. And I'm thankful when I got out of the service, it wasn't super hard for me because I got out on my own terms and I didn't do a full career. So I still had some gas in the tank.
Yeah.
Where guys are getting out after 16, 20 years. I mean, you guys are after OIF, you're smoked. I mean, it's just so much. I don't know any other group that's fought. Maybe Israel has fought their whole life, but we don't fight wars for that long. So yeah, it definitely takes a toll. But man, I'm super glad to hear that you've turned things around and you saw that light. You were willing to accept the help. You asked for help, and now you could be a beacon for others. And they're gonna do exactly what you say because you've lived it, you've breathed it. You're that guy. So. And enlisted before a warrant officer, so there's big shout out to the E-Dogs.
Yeah, man, it's I always say, like, people always ask me, man, like, do you miss it? Like, do you wish you could go back? I'm like, no, I don't. To change one aspect of the journey means I wouldn't have what I have right now, man. I don't ever want to give that up. And one of the greatest things I take from my journey is like, dude, the pinnacle of my career was becoming a warrant officer, becoming chief. Not because I was some fucking prolific leader, not because I was the greatest fucking Green Beret, mediocre at best, shiny moments. Like, I give myself kudos for those pure moments. Like, maybe I had some brilliance here. I did some good things here. But the greatest thing about my journey and what I feel was my greatest asset as a Green Beret warrant officer was being able to take care of my guys, being there for the boys, being able to be that voice of like, hey man, like, sit down. What's going on, dude? Like, what's going on? Like, I still get to do that. I still get to be a good human being. Like, the best aspect, the best moment of my career as a warrant officer was just being a good fucking teammate.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like, I get to do that every single day and tap into that chief mentality of like, when you can't talk to the captain, you can't talk to the team sergeant, and you need somebody to fucking lean on, I'm fucking there for you. I got you. Come talk to chief. And that's a great takeaway. Like, you have everything when you walk away from the military, everything that made you a great service member, you still have it. You still have that. Never forget that, man. And I think so many of us forget what we achieved and the person we were. Like, you're still that guy. You still have it in you. That dog's still in you, man. Like, don't fucking lose sight of that just because you don't have the uniform and a fancy, felt hat and a tab that says you were special. Like, you're still there. You're still that guy to accomplish all those things. Like, don't forget about it. And so many of us, I know for a fact I forgot for a while. I thought I lost that. I gave all that power to who I felt was somebody else. And in reality, no, it's me. I made it through that. I went through that. Like, it takes a lot of guts to go through all that shit. And all of us, we need to be able to reflect back and say, like, okay, I didn't lose that when I walked down. I grabbed that DD-214. It's still there. I still have that in me.
Yeah, man, for sure. Actually, a funny story about DD-214. So when I went to go get mine, check out, they didn't have my Purple Heart on there. I was like, huh. And they're like, do you have one? And I was like, well, yeah, I do. Here's the award. And they're like, oh, cool. And they just wrote it in there. I'm like, I also have a Medal of Honor. No big deal. That one did not go in there. So it's quite funny to try, though. That would have been hilarious. Yeah, they didn't seem like they were all that concerned with putting in a Purple Heart without some real identification. But yeah, good times, man. Had to have fun with it. Well, I think it's interesting that, you get into Security Halt Media, you create this because, when we're in our particular units, we're told not to have social media, don't talk to the press, don't do any of this stuff. So we're very, very forward facing, but we're staying internal. And I remember even going on deployment, there's some reporters out there and they're like, stay the fuck away from those reporters. We're like, cool, sounds good. And I got a story to tell, but then all of a sudden we get out and now we're actually telling stories, and you create this company. So you talked about how you initially got into founding it. What exactly does Security Halt Media do?
So authentic, impactful, and purpose-driven stories. Like, that's what I like to put out into the world. So when I bring on a client and they want to create a podcast, like, I know we're a good fit if they have something of value to bring out to the world. A great example is Broken Brains podcast. Been producing that show for almost a year now. Advocacy for something that I feel is extremely important to talk about. Head impacts, both in our professional athletes, our youth athletes, and then the veteran space too. So I like to find individuals or work with individuals who have something important to share. Even if it's a business where it's like, hey, we're talking about streaming media on a daily. Cool. Are you just regurgitating stuff? Are you just creating more noise out in the airways? Or are you bringing on a host that can be impactful, that can be passionate about what you're talking about? Even in that sphere, I like to get involved because I know that content is king. And if you've got a show that you want to put out there and you're passionate about it and you're 100% in, I'm the guy that's going to produce it. Like, whether it's just the host talking about the current events or you want a full, detailed, planned out, written out script and you want to talk about X, Y, and Z. As long as there's something value and purposeful behind it, I want to produce that show. And I think podcasting is a great medium to be involved in because, dude, this is the new way to connect with people. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've sat down to watch something at the end of the day and I'm just like, this is bullshit. I don't want to watch it. This is just propaganda shit.
Yeah, no question.
And then you pivot to the show that you listen to the most and you want to hear something that's uplifting or be informed about something without a spin to it. And I think this is a medium that I've not only fallen in love with, but just absolutely just love getting other people involved in it and bringing stories to light. Because like I said earlier, man, the world is full of negativity. If I can put a little bit of good out there, then I'm feeling good about it as well.
That's legit, man. So, like, walk me through a day in the life. What does your day in the life look like?
Let me tell you, this is fun. Wait. This is going to sell everybody to become a producer. I wake up. Today's the perfect time. I wake up at 3 a.m. and immediately go for my morning walk and then go straight into production and social media, because that's the other side of the house. I'll bring this into where it fits in, but I found early on that the best way to do free marketing is social media. So I had to learn that. I had to really dive into that, and I hated it until I put the chief hat on and started attacking it from an analytical side of the house. You know, we have F3EAD for targeting, and I quickly developed my methodology for social media targeting. And turns out it's just a lot of spreadsheets. It's a lot of Excel, which I'm going to get a lot of fucking, jokes about this, but everybody shits on the Wart because he's the Excel guy. And here I am fucking retired out. And I'm sitting here building up an Excel spreadsheet about which poop and cum joke meme did better on this page and what got more likes. But all that analysis over a course of a few months helped me understand that the number one thing you need is to understand your audience.
Yeah.
And I put that to work with Security Halt, which is really built on, the memes, building humor, getting you on, because nobody wants to be vulnerable. Nobody wants to talk about this stuff. But if I can put it in a meme or attract you into my echo chamber in a meme, through a meme, then I can get you to listen to a clip and I can get you to hopefully download the episode. And it really helped my show. So when I started doing that for clients, I realized, well, Security Halt Media, it's not just podcasting. Now it's social media as well. One of my clients, I was able to take from 18 to 28K in a matter of just 2 months, just because I sat down, studied their audience, and just started attacking it from that point of view. And I realized, okay, that has to be part of the business. So now I do podcasting, production, and social media. So I wake up at 3, start looking at my different channels that I, work for social media, and start working on my show because I have clients now. their stuff has to be first. I have
Yep.
to put their needs first, and I got to meet their metrics. So after I get all their stuff done at the end of the day, but I have to wake up early to do my show. I wake up early, do my production, do my editing, and then I stare at analytics. So by this point, it's like 4 a.m. looking at analytics, what's doing good. I like to do a 7-day download analysis for all my shows. One, because if I don't manage the social media for that client, I want them to know how they're doing and what they can do better on social media to promote their show. So have that ready by 5, and then that's usually when Izzy is starting to get ready. So my favorite thing in the morning is being able to be with my little one and my wife and getting ready. So as soon as she's up, then it's like, okay, pause on this so I can be with her, be with my wife before we both take off. And usually I drop her off for daycare. So about 6:30, we're getting everything ready, drop her off at daycare. And then the rest of the day, it's Security Halt Media, social media management, podcast production. I'm either doing in-studio session, monitoring my hosts, because some of my hosts, you'll be doing a lot of marking, be like, hey, let's run it back. What you meant to say was this. All right, 3, 2, 1, count you back in. And then, some of my other shows, the host is really smooth, spot on, so I don't have to do anything except monitor and then editing, and then jumping off from the computer to my studio to do my recording. And then hopefully by 2 to 3 p.m., I've recorded everything. I have done all my social media for my clients. Now it's looking at my next day, putting everything on the docket, looking at how I can shift things and make it better, or look at my email, see if somebody's canceled on me, and then go through the whole process of, okay, who's on fire, who needs scheduling. And then after that, hopefully by then I get a message from my wife saying that she's on her way and we're going to go pick up the daughter together. That's something we like to do at the same time. And then I have a master's program. So then it's switching hats to student and looking through that. But all throughout the day, it's constantly living on one of these, because I also do peer-to-peer support, and you never know, get that message from a brother in need or sister in need, and you're replying to that. Kid, wife at home, 5, 6 p.m., winding down, but then still, as soon as the little one's fed, put to bed, then comes the MacBook Air in the lap as we're trying to unwind and trying to look at what's ahead for the next day. So in all reality, it is a lot, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I really wouldn't. It's still a solo endeavor. I do everything, but that will shortly come to an end, because the number one thing that I realize is, if I want to have a greater impact, if I want to have more customers, if I want to create something that's putting out different podcasts across all the top genres, I need a teammate. I need an editor. And I have a lot of big things. One of the biggest things I want to launch in the coming year is a podcast that's just humor. One of the things I had at one point was ILG podcast, which was fucking absolutely hilarious. It was just our guys, our community of soft guys, but it was just humor. Our skits were great, but very niche audience at the point. I want to rebrand it, I want to relaunch it, and give other up and coming soft guys, or guys who are just in veteran humor space, a place to go to create content for us, for our brand of comedy. I think there's a market for it. I don't think that it's completely flushed out and difficult to get in there. I really want to bring that out. I want to give our guys, because I think some of the funniest individuals I've ever met were in the team room.
No doubt.
Dudes that I would pay to go see them at a comedy show were in the team room. And I want to relaunch that podcast and get people around it, and support that social media, because I think now I've figured out how to do it. And I think it'd be great to have, because one thing that I know kept me around was laughing. And that's why the memes are never going away. I will tell you right now, Security Halt will never, ever pivot away from memes, because the amount of times guys have reached out and said, dude, that shit, I was in a dark spot. You got me laughing. Like you made my day. It's like, fuck, dude. Maybe I can't get you in a couch with a therapist, but if I can just keep you laughing one day, keep you engaged with your friends and family a little bit longer, maybe the right person can come across and maybe they can talk to you. I'm not kidding myself thinking that I'm going to save fucking everybody. It's an all hands on deck endeavor. But if I can make the right person laugh at the right moment in their life and just keep them around longer, that's a mission that I'm involved in, bro. That's something I can hang my head on proudly.
That's legit, man. Are you taking on new clients right now?
I am, absolutely, all day, every day.
Okay.
I have competitive rates. I will tell you right now, I've been in this space long enough. I understand it well enough to create things that are going to get, speak to your audience. So I definitely want to bring on, but again, the one thing a cautionary tale. I have rates for a reason. I stick to them for a reason. And I will no longer take on the bro price or the bro code. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, I only have this much. Are you willing to work with me? It doesn't work, man.
Yeah.
Because you may think that it's a beneficial endeavor to just flex on your price points, but price points are important because you're bought in. You are willing to pay a certain price, and you know that you're going into this 100% because you're paying a premium for it. You're paying a price for it. When you don't have that, you're willing to do things like, man, I don't know if I want to record today. Yeah, we have a guest, dog. That person's dialing in. I take that seriously.
Yeah.
I've been sick with COVID, and I will be there and log in and be there and produce 100%, and your content will get put out there. When somebody cancels and they move and shift schedule, I'm like, those people are in my ecosystem now. I connected with them. I brought them on. They agreed to be on your show. When you cancel somebody like that short notice, it's just like us, man. Like, we don't want to get that phone call from hire saying, hey man, you've been rolled 24. No, fuck that.
Yeah.
We're ready to go on this mission right now.
Yeah.
We're doing this shit. And that's the type of energy that I bring to Security Halt. Hey, I get it. Life happens. But when you come on board, like, that's the mission. We want to create something that's purpose-driven, impactful, that's of value to somebody. And I want to create content and be there with somebody that sees that as their mission.
Is there a particular genre or typical client that you look for? Is it veteran? Is it first responder? Or it doesn't matter?
I will 100%. I love working with my veteran and first responder community. But like I said, Dan Rayburn, the number one show for streaming media news, not a veteran ally, a soft ally. But his data, the way he talks, I mean, he is the voice of streaming media. And I like working with individuals that are passionate, authority figures in their space, or somebody that has something to bring out that's of value. I like exploring new genres. I think there's a lot of exciting stuff out there. Would love to be involved in the not the murder mystery stuff. That's a little bit too much for me, but the ghost stories and the supernatural stuff, I love that. I think there's so much creativity in that space. I will not get into the political world. I think that it's too divisive. Yeah. I think that political content, I have my own beliefs. I hold on to them dearly, but I don't think the world needs one more political voice out there, like on whatever side you're on. If it dives into it and maybe it touches it a little bit, that's fine. But a show that's just 100% built on the ground and foundation of just being a political commentator, probably not your guy. Because, my feelings are varying, very, very different, but, not my thing. I think there are just too many of those out there. I want to create something that anybody can tune into. Even if I talk about my faith and stuff like that, I feel like it's to the point where it's not going to turn somebody off. Like, I mean, if it does, then so be it. I'm who I am. I am who I am. I like to talk about stuff, but I think I'm a great producer and a great a team member for somebody that's passionate and willing to talk about their genre. That's
legit, man. That's pretty awesome, dude. All right. So what's the best way that people can get a hold of you if they want to talk to you more, hire you, get involved with you?
The best way, it's getting me by email at denny.caballero@securityhalt.com. Denny spelt with just one N. I know my biological parents were crazy. They were weird. But it's unique, and if people call me Deny, that's all right. But Denny with one N, .caballero@securityhalt.com. Or, hit me up on my cell phone. I'll put it out there, 850-376-8101. Text me first, usually in the studio. It's always on silent, but if you text me, I'll see the vibration, I'll see a notification. And just excited to work with anybody out there who's willing to to dive in and be 100%. Like that's one thing that I realized. I've done a lot of projects where I just launch your show. That's fun, but there's a lot of times where I'm like, fuck, man, this is a really good thing. I wish I could stick in there for a few more episodes. But in this space, like, man, like you have to be passionate about what you're putting out there, or you'll become one of the millions of shows out there that just have 5 or 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And, like everybody says like, it's all about money. Like it's not about money. I'm in for the long run. If it's the right show, the right concept, I want to see it through. I want to be part of something big. I want to bring you on to my sphere, because I think that's one of the great things about launching something like this, being able to have a rogues gallery of shows that are just a variety of stuff, man. Like that's what excites me.
That's legit, man. You didn't mention, you said you're doing your master's program. What are you actually mastering in?
Positive psychology. So early on, I got my I got my bachelor's in psychology, and I had hopes and dreams of like, I'm going to be the next provider. And then I got into it and I realized I've got all my certifications in mindfulness-based stress reduction. I'm doing all this stuff. I don't want to sit down and force my family to move somewhere, to go to a brick and mortar school, to become a psychologist. And here's why. There are thousands of providers out there, thousands. And we are in a critical shortage still, but what we don't have are people championing the idea and the concept of what's going right with you. You open up a DSM-5, no matter what version, and it's just a list of, oh man, this is what's wrong with you. Fuck, you're fucked up. This is what's wrong with you. Even at my worst, there were some good things in my life, and it was never fucking highlighted. And that's what I found through mindfulness and positive psychology. Sometimes we need to focus on what's also going right, because that's the way your team sergeant talk to you. Even the worst ass chewings, my team sergeants or leadership would always say like, hey, you're still a good Bravo. You're doing a lot of good things right. But you got to tighten up your shot group on this stuff. If we would just have providers, counselors that would also highlight the good things in our life, that give us something to focus on, we could all be working a little bit faster at healing, recovering, getting back on the road. And that's something that I get from mindfulness. The one thing that always stuck with me when I found it and I started my journey is like, that quote by John Kabat-Zinn, if you are breathing right now, there's more right going on in your life than wrong. And I realized that, like, dude, whenever you've been in a firefight and you're only focusing on what the enemy's doing, oh, fuck, holy shit. No, you got guys in the fight. You got everybody's up. Hey, you're up. You got ammo? All right, fuck yeah, we're still in this thing. We still got this. Fuck yeah, we might not have air coverage. Cool. We got a 60 with us. What assets do you have? What organic assets do you have? All right, well, let's take the fucking fight to the enemy. We still got something. We still got a 60 with us. We still got a fucking 240 Bravo. Let's focus on how we can take those organic systems and put them in the fight, allocating the best way possible. Nobody was doing that when I was at my fucking worst. Until one person was willing to say, hey, you know what? Like, get you in this treatment center, work on the things you got going on. You got a wife that loves you. That's an asset that nobody was highlighting. I was only focused on the team. Only focused on the fucking team. Oh, what are the boys? What about the boys? Bro, there's so much more in our life going right than wrong. We just need to be with somebody that can actually like help us open up our eyes and see. And that's what I found in positive psychology. That's what I'm studying right now. The big brain in me wants to continue on to a PhD in behavioral health management, because at the end of the day, I also work with an amazing nonprofit, Special Forces Foundation. And I realized like, okay, like everything I'm learning, I'm seeing all these other nonprofits growing up, getting big. Like, what's stopping me from being a better help, better resource for everybody else out there? And I realized that there's a behavioral health management program at Arizona State. So it just made sense for me. Like, I'm a prior warrant officer. I'm a systems guy. I know how to put things together where they work a little bit better, more efficient. So that's the end goal. Luckily, I'm in VRNE, vocational rehab. So it's covering the bill for all my education. That's another thing I like to recommend to guys. If you're out there and you're passionate about your education, look at Voc Rehab. It doesn't have to be your forever. It doesn't have to be the thing that you go through, but think about it. It could be. I'm lucky and I'm fortunate enough that so far, all my education, I've been in love with. Everything I've done, I've already had, like for my bachelor's, I read 90% of the course load before I even started that program. I didn't even know it. When we started getting our textbooks, I'm like, fuck, I already read this shit. So that's what led me into this space, and just constantly pulling me in was advocacy and working for our veteran community, our warrior tribe. So still in the fight in the education, still doing great in that. I'm passionate about it. I'm willing to sacrifice sleep for it.
So your goal is to, whether it's PhD or getting your master's here, is to help support the nonprofit, or do you want to do something with that in the future?
Maybe work in the telehealth space, be able to help. But I've realized that PhD is attractive because I think that learning how to manage these online telehealth professionals, like it could be beneficial. It could be something that, and if not, then it's just something that I'm still passionate about and I can utilize that somewhere. It's just understanding that, like, dude, like I can get a PhD. I can understand how to run a business in a better way. Now, I don't know if I could apply it to what I'm doing Security Halt Media, but I'm willing to spend time and learn it. So far, the master's is going great. I'll be done with it in 2026. If I continue on to the PhD, like I'll figure out a way to use it. But my main thing is Security Halt Media at the time, and it helps me better understand and have something to talk about when I bring in a doctor in the space. Like I still have big ambitions to have certain individuals come aboard and come on the show, but if I don't have the background, I don't have the educational foundation to talk with them with those big brains, like I'm not going to bring anything to the discussion. So I use that to feed, and I've had some great docs on, and I've been fortunate that the education has helped me out. It has given me something to talk about. Because there's nothing worse than getting on and having an interview with a sleep professional and you don't know shit about sleep hygiene.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No doubt.
Yeah.
It's like that public speaker up on stage has never done a damn thing in their life. I'm like, how did you even get here? Like, just spitting all kinds of nonsense. All right, so if somebody drops, 20 million bucks in your lap, what do you see Security Halt being in 5 years?
Oh, man. Oh, my God. Live in studio session, but in a place, and I've thought about this a lot. So I personally know a lot of individuals that I want in this space, but money and putting foot on the table is a barrier. I can't fund, and that's one of the things that broke my heart about Security Halt in the beginning. I had co-host. I had a rogues gallery of individuals who would jump in, but the workload, like, I can put a lot of shit on my back. I'm willing to wake up at 1. I'm willing to wake up at 2 to make the mission, but I can't make that requirement to my brothers who have kids, who have a family.
Yeah.
If I had that windfall, what I envision and what I would like to do is to create not only live in studio environment for my show, but several shows and then organize in a key location where you're going to get Security Halt Media shows that are filmed at the same studio location with the production budget, with the value that you're going to be able to turn on and be like, holy shit, this is amazing editing. It's live in studio. Be able to pay for those guests that do demand that travel. There's a lot of individuals I'd love to have on the show, but a lot of things, they're only in person and you got to cover the travel fee. And I respect that because these individuals have the pedigree and the background that says like, hey, like I'm added value. I have something to say. And like, if I'm going to go on your show, that means I have to cancel all this stuff. And I respect that. Getting that email from somebody does not kick me in the guts or make me feel bad. Just had one. I won't say their name, but it's a very prominent individual. I'm like, fuck, I wish I could get you on the show, but I can't. Right now, my studio is small and set up for Riverside FM. Shameless plug to them. But if I had that much money, I would create the environment for all of the key shows that I want to develop and be able to provide the actual guests that I want to have on, give the audience what they demand. And that's good production quality, an amazing set that gives them that place of authority. It's not just somebody's garage or, living room. It's some place where they can dial in and say like, wow, okay, like this looks professional setting. I'm fortunate enough that I saved money and pawned a lot of stuff. So I have a lot of great equipment already. Sony FX3s, not cheap, great. And it's completely wasted for Riverside FM, but I have that because I'm growing this because in, this year coming up, I'll be moving back to Florida. And number one thing on the docket is that live studio setting. so I can use all these lights, all these cameras, and actually have the space for it. But yeah, that's my big thing. Centralized location, not just for my show, but for the shows that I want to create, to be able to provide that person that I think should be an authority figure in the space, with the resources and the proper pay to get them on board. Because if you're going to create something, you have to be able to be, compensated. That's
For
something
sure.
nobody wants to talk about. Like,
For sure.
compensate the guest. Like, there's tons of times I wanted to reach out and create something with somebody, but I'm like, you're going to hate this. I want you to create something with me. I want you to come on board, but I won't be able to pay you. Like,
Yeah.
it's not realistic.
No, I get it, man. Well, speaking of that, I mean, are you accepting sponsors right now? Are you looking for sponsors?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm finally got to the point where I am added value to sponsors. I have multiple tiers. I just had Titan's Arms. We close on our first giveaway for Titan's Arms tomorrow, actually. So I'll be announcing the winner of that. I've got Titan's Arms, Pure Liberty Labs, Performance Wellness Group right now as sponsors. But I'm always looking for more. A lot of the sponsorships that I do are, hey, customized month to month, 6 months, 3 months. But I want to partner long term. I think that Security Halt now and Security Halt Media, I can brand you, or can bring your product or your brand across the entirety of Security Halt Media's catalog. Get you not only in front of Security Halt's audience, but in front of Broken Brains, the Asset Mindset. Be able to bring you across all those shows and give you exposure. And that's something that I love to do. And all those shows, like, you don't have to worry about, like, oh man, what kind of content is this? It's all geared towards positivity. It's all geared towards positive stuff. So it's not like something where somebody has to feel like, oh man, I don't know if I want to put my stuff there. It's not politically aligned. We're not talking anything crazy. It's good content meant to uplift, bring positivity, and help people like understand that they're not out of the fight. They can heal with this. They can get better with this. They can focus on their mindset. And all those shows, I'm proud to be a partner. I'm proud to be a producer for them. And I want to partner with more brands and more products out there that are along the line. I do have some bugaboos. I've said this for a long time, and I'll say it again for my personal show. Just because I advocate and I talk about sobriety, it doesn't have to be everybody's thing. I just know that it's one of the co-occurring things. And it almost got me, is alcohol. I don't want to promote or work with alcohol brands. Not that you're bad, not that there's bad things, but I think that there's tons of shows that you can align yourself with. And I'll gladly point you to some creators that could utilize it, and it would be great partners. But for Security Halt, I don't want to have alcohol involved. I think that that's a stand I'm proud to make. No shade to anybody. We have great alcohol makers. We got people veterans have created some amazing stuff. It's just not for this show. I think that in this space, I'd like to stay free of that. And people call me all the time telling me, that's fucking stupid. You got so many great alcohol brands. I'm like, yeah. And they're doing great things. They're partnering up with nonprofits doing great things. But Security Halt, I talk about making the decision, coming to a choice that best aligns with you and your health and your fitness. And if you just do that, you'll realize that it is a neurotoxin. If you've got a TBI, if your brain's already not functioning, if your fucking left eye isn't working right, maybe you don't drink. Maybe you don't. And that's something I'm proud to say. I have my 4-soldier bourbon bottle signed by my former teammates. Very proud to have that. I think that's one of the greatest brands out there for our soft guys. But hey, you know what? I'm willing to find other sponsors. So slide in the DMs, get a hold of me. I'd like to work with you, whoever you are. If you got an energy drink, a supplement, or something that's healthy, I'm in. Let's do it.
That's legit, man. Legit. Well, I'm super excited to see where this goes for you. We haven't been friends for that long, but I have a feeling that we're going to go the distance now, and not only watching you grow and expanding, but can learn a lot from you, because this is your world, man. And I do wish you all the best to your successes with your family, with your faith, with your freedom and sobriety, also with the show, and then your future endeavors with your master's/PhD. In wrapping, I want to ask one simple question, which seems to always hang everybody up, but who is your hero and why?
Oh, shit. Oh, man. My hero. Man. I'm going to take the easy route and say my wife, dude. I will say my wife. We don't, and shameless plug, for one thing I talk about a lot of time is being a present present husband. For a long time, I wasn't. By all means, this woman should have left me a long time ago, and she stuck through it, saw me through my worst days until now. And I say my wife because, man, no matter what, she is an amazing fucking friend and confidant and companion. But she's the greatest fucking mother I've seen, and one of the best officers I've seen. Like the last officer I worked with, sorry to tell you this, man, like they were just horrible. And I remember coming home and seeing my wife talk passionately about her job and how she, taking care of her troops. And I'm like, fuck, dude, like you love what you do. I wish that this guy that I was working with cared and was willing to do just a fraction of how hard you work. And I see that day in and day out. I still see that. And like, I married up, man. I'm way out of my fucking league. And that's my fucking hero, because that woman doesn't fucking quit. Like I was willing to tap out over some shit that looking back now, I'm like, man, like you could have recovered from this. You could have bounced back and you reached out a lot earlier, but I didn't. That's, to me, that's like, I see how willing she was to reach through that void and pull me out and stick with me when so many other people would not have done that. And that's my fucking hero.
That's legit. Nice, man. Absolutely. Well, we'll send her that clip for sure. Get you some brownie points.
Yeah.
Keep that in your back pocket for the next time you fuck up.
And I would never tell that to her face.
Oh, it's so good. Well, everybody, you heard it here. Denny Caballero, aka Cab. He's got Security Halt Media. You can check him out at securityhalt.com, or you can go to his social media handles, which we're going to push out after the show. Get in touch with him if you're interested in starting a podcast, having him help you expand your podcast. Just get to know exactly what he does. Listen to this show so you can hear fully on what we discussed, and then go reach out to him and ask him questions, and hopefully you can become a client of his, because he is receiving right now. And I've looked through his stuff. It's pretty legit. So I might even be calling him afterwards well, he just told me he's not doing the bro deal anymore. So it'll be a while, but we'll see about that. Hey, brother, it's been awesome to have you on the show, man.
Dude, thank you so much, brother. It was awesome.
Frogman Friday. Long